Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
Welcome back, everybody. Third Generation Wrestling Podcast, 3GW. We back in the building. Know it's been kind of a drought, but a lot going on. New job and personal things going on. But we haven't forgotten about y'all. We still here. We know what tomorrow is. We're trying to do our best to stick with the program, but life gets in the way sometimes. Working a lot more hours than I'm accustomed to. So, but hey, money's good. So that's all I can say.
Hey, that's
the real Big E, Rob the Ambassador. How you feeling, man? I know this is a rough week for you, especially.
Well, yeah, and I won't bog the podcast down with too much, but I lost my father last weekend. Early Saturday morning, I got a call from the care facility where he had been residing for past year and a half or so, and he passed. So I've had to make all those arrangements, and yeah, man, lost my father, and that's a tough one. But I'll tell a quick story. One of the coolest memories I have of my father is, as a kid, I must have been about 6 or 7. I started watching this show called All-Star Wrestling. Now, this was back when wrestling, there were territories. I hadn't even heard of WWF, WWE at this time. So on like my 9th or 10th birthday, my dad walks into my room and he hands me these 2 tickets. And I look at them, and it's tickets to go see All-Star Wrestling in person at our local arena. And to this day, that's like the coolest thing that my dad ever did for me. He bought me tickets to my very first wrestling show. Wrestling was a lot different back then. The wrestlers on the card you probably never would have heard of. The arena we went to held about 10,000. There might have been 1,000 people there. No Titantron, no music, no fancy costumes. There was none of that. But you know what? I loved it. And my dad, as a kid, I thought wrestling was real, right? I didn't know anything about kayfabe, about it being predetermined and all that.
Yeah.
And my dad, these wrestlers would come to the ring. We had pretty good seats. Like I said, not that many people there. My dad hooked us up. We had good seats. Probably paid, gosh, this would have been the 70s. I'm dating myself. The tickets were only like $5 a piece, if that. Right. And these wrestlers would come out, and my dad would just cuss these wrestlers out. He would yell and scream. I thought these wrestlers was going to beat my dad's ass. I was scared. But as I got older, later on, I realized he was doing that just to make the evening more fun and more memorable for me. And I'll never forget that. He took me to other cards. He took me to see Andre the Giant. The first time I saw Flair, my dad bought me those tickets. And so now we're here doing a wrestling podcast. My love of wrestling began at an early age, and it was my father who bought me tickets to my very first show. So, so many other memories. Dad, I miss you. I love you.
Here's one for the senior.
All right.
That's a cool story because my pops took me to my first wrestling show too.
Yeah.
Not a wrestling fan at all. He actually had a friend that was a fan, and I didn't want to. Even as a kid, I guess I just had the, I don't know, the logic that I didn't want to drag my dad to a show I knew he didn't like. So I had asked his friend to take me to the Nitro. It was coming to Chicago. My dad jumped on it, bought the tickets, and he made sure he took me. So for forever will know that he took me to my first show. And I spoke about it. I talk about that story. I tell people a lot of people that story too. So that's pretty cool. Kind of both had that in common.
Yeah.
Now, it's probably going to be a lot of kids tomorrow going to their very first wrestling show in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for the Elimination Chamber 2022. Yeah, see, like I feel like the timing of this show is just, I don't want to say it was rushed because they had it on their calendar, but I think that maybe the matchups don't have the build up necessarily because of the lack of time. So especially like Roman Goldberg, like there wasn't really a lot of time to build up to that. And I mean, they had the 2 weeks, but then today they're already there, you know, and that's the problem. Kind of having SmackDown on Friday, like your heavy hitters aren't on the show because they're already in Saudi Arabia, you know. But
well, I don't know if you did you watch it tonight?
I did not. I was still at work.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, of course. You know, actually, some of the heavy hitters were there because the show was actually pre-recorded.
Oh,
yeah, it ended with a face-off between Reigns and Goldberg. It started with a contract signing featuring Charlotte and Sonya Deville against their opponents, obviously Ronda and Naomi. So yeah, everybody
I figured that was going to happen.
And there was actually a title change tonight as well. I won't spoil that for you. I'll let you watch if you decide to watch. But yeah, it was pre-recorded and it was a typical SmackDown show to be real about it.
Okay, I might go back and check it out, man. Like I said, I didn't see it because I was working. Didn't get home till I've only been home like an hour. So, all right, getting into the card itself. Just start at the bottom. Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Now, normally I would just say, you know, whoever The Miz's face is gonna win. But, and this for you, Book, I'm gonna go ahead and say Miz will get a win here because he's a heel, and they're probably gonna do something with him and Rey at Mania. And this is the way to do that, or something with him and Dominic at Mania. Who knows? But I could see Miz winning here because the Mysterios really don't need wins. I don't know what the hell they're doing now, what they've been doing. I don't watch Raw.
Yeah, you know, surprisingly, I thought about this one because usually, and I think I said it on one of our recent podcasts, The Miz seems to always lose his big matches. But I'm going to say that he does get over in this one. And I'm going to say that somehow, some way, Dominic will cause Rey to lose, and maybe they'll start planting seeds, more seeds, because they've kind of messed with it, kind of alluded to it in the past, some dissension between Rey and Dominic. I think eventually we're going to see Rey versus Dominic. I don't know if it'll happen at Mania. That's kind of a quick turnaround, but I think we're going to see The Miz get a surprising win here. And my prediction is that Dominic will somehow play a part in Rey losing.
Interesting.
I'm not saying he'll turn on Rey. I think it'll be something inadvertent where he was trying to help Rey. Yeah. But it just didn't go the way it was supposed to.
That's likely. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Cat Moss versus Drew McIntyre in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Is Corbin hurt or something? Because he's just not wrestling now, but he's on every show, but he's not wrestling now. He's the background character, and he's helping Moss. I don't know. Falls Count Anywhere, it might be good. I don't know, but Drew's gonna win. Yeah, Drew's gonna win.
Yeah, without a doubt, Drew's gonna win. I'm not as optimistic as you are. I think this could be a complete disaster. I'm not really excited about this card
I'm not
as
excited.
a whole. But yeah, this match is one of the matches I'm least excited about, but maybe they will surprise me. Obviously, the outcome is predictable, but maybe they will surprise us and it'll actually turn out to be a good match. But I have my doubts about that.
Likewise. The women's Elimination Chamber match for a WWE Raw Championship match at WrestleMania 36. Oh, no, 38. Sorry. Monitor is a little far away. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, and Alexa Bliss. It's a little harder to kind of narrow down because there's obviously two that are kind of, the big deal. I'm gonna go the easy route with this one because I think she needs to win more than anyone else in this match and a good showing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say Rhea Ripley is gonna get a win here, and I think seeing her and Becky in Mania will be a good match. Obviously, I mean, I can't really say Bianca doesn't deserve it either because she does, and that's a rematch that we kind of would like to see from SummerSlam, even in the makeup for that. I think it was Money in the Bank match they had, or whatever pay-per-view was after SummerSlam. They had a match and it wasn't great, but I'm gonna stick with Rhea because they just haven't done much with her. If she loses this, I don't know what her trajectory is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I had predicted Rhea to win the Rumble. I was wrong about that. She had a decent showing there. On Raw this past week, they had a gauntlet match to determine who would be the last entrant into the chamber. And Rhea started the match and she looked spectacular. She was in the ring 44 minutes total. Her final opponent was Bianca Belair, and for the time that they spent in the ring together, it was great, but Bianca got over. They shook hands at the end. So Bianca will enter the chamber last, but I am going to predict that Rhea will win. They separated her from Nikki for a reason, and I'm hoping it's because they realize what they have in her and they're going to get her back into the title picture. So I'm going to predict that and hope that it happens.
I hope it happens too. I really like Rhea. I love Bianca too, though. You got to root for the sisters.
Oh yeah, and I love Bianca. And here's the thing: Bianca is so over right now. I don't think it hurts her not to get this spot, and I think that she is going to be back in the title picture no matter who is the champion on Raw. Bianca's going to be in that title picture at some point. We're going to see her fight for the championship again sometime this year. But I do think Rhea gets this spot, and I think a match between her and Becky at Mania would be great.
Oh yeah. Definitely don't want to see Nikki ASH, and I damn sure don't want to see Alexa Bliss win this match.
No.
The Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus the Viking Raiders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I can't see the Bloodline losing anything before WrestleMania. I think they want them to look as strong as possible going into the show, and then maybe they lose the tag titles. I don't know, and maybe even Roman drops the title. I don't know, and that's how they go into the new season. But who knows? I don't know. Again, I'm gonna go the easy route. I'm gonna say the Usos are tagging in a pretty good match. I think we've seen the Viking Raiders in person. They're big guys, but they work. They have a great work rate, and they're big guys that move like cruiserweights, especially Ivar. So
Ivar. Yeah, it would not shock me to see the Viking Raiders win, but like you, I'm going to say they keep the Usos looking strong going into Mania, and that they'll retain tomorrow. I'm going to go with that.
All right. I am looking forward to seeing this, but I feel like it's going to be neutered because of where it is. I wish they could have done this at hell, Mania even. I think it would have got a huge pop there. Becky Lynch versus Lita for the Raw Women's Championship. Obviously, this is just again, giving your champion something to do. It's a cool moment, a match thought we never see. Becky's winning. I hope Lita has a good showing, and it'd be great to see her, but she's not going to win.
No, she's not going to win, but I still think this has the potential to be a good match. The only limitations the women have is their clothing, right? I mean, obviously they're going to have to be covered, but as far as what they do in the ring, I think for the most part, they should be able to do what they normally do. Lita should be able to do it, whatever she's capable of doing at this point. The high flying and some of the daring moves we've seen her do in the past, she should be able to do that. So I think this has the potential to be an entertaining match, but Becky is going to retain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
to me, there's no question about that. But the only question is, will Lita be able to bring it enough to make it a good match?
Oh, Lord Jesus. Ronda Rousey and Naomi versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Sounds good on paper, doesn't it? Until you add this caveat of Ronda will have to wrestle with one arm behind her back. Wonder what that means. Okay. She's this is one more way to give Charlotte Flair another way to be the biggest heel in the company. And I don't know, give Ronda another ass whooping like she did Survivor Series a few years back, and then we build up to Mania. Whatever this is, whatever it's going to be, it's just something to build to Mania. I am going to say Charlotte and Sonya are going to win, and probably Naomi's going to take the pin. Which sucks because she's the only sister in the match, but I guess you're on the card. You get a high profile match. It's a good payday. Right? But yeah, Charlotte and Sonya for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on this, man. I agree with everything you just said. I do think Naomi eats the pin. Now, the only good thing about that is I think by doing that, they are setting up a match between her and Sonya at Mania. And hopefully there we would see Naomi finally get her revenge and Sonya get what's coming to her. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you that that's the way it will play out. But, don't be distressed because I do think Naomi gets her revenge at Mania.
Yeah, she's got to, Sonya has to get her comeuppance at some point.
Right.
Otherwise, it's bad storytelling, which WWE is known for.
Yeah,
Okay. The match we've all been waiting for that we almost got 2 years ago. But pandemic said no. Well, at least Roman said no. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, and potentially Goldberg's last match with WWE. He even said so on his Instagram. So that pretty much tells you how this is gonna go. It's not really even worth predicting. I'll say this. I'll say that he'll give it his all, and Roman will probably give him more than he would normally in the other circumstance, like if this wasn't his last match. And if you're gonna go out, with the big dog. But please, you're 55 now, and you look great for 55. But as a fan, I would like to see you ride off in the sunset and just continue to do other things. All right, it's time. I need to be able to move on and fall in love with other wrestlers, and we need to continue to build toward the future. And I wish there were other wrestlers still there. Killer Cross, Keith Lee, but hey, I hope it's a good match, even if it's just good, and he gets a decent send off. But Tribal Chiefs winning.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Tribal Chief will win. You know, we've all been down this road with some of our favorite wrestlers. Me with Ric Flair and with Taker, both wrestled into their 50s, well into their 50s, stayed too long. But look, I will say this. Saul Goldberg on SmackDown tonight, he looks the part, man. I mean, the dude, he always comes in shape. I respect him for that. I think if they can give us 5, 6, 7 minutes, you know, some spears and maybe you know, a couple of 2 counts, kind of keep the drama, you know, use that to kind of keep the drama going. It could be entertaining, depending on how the match is booked.
Mm-hmm.
We need to just see the big moves, the moves we expect, and the match shouldn't go very long. And I think it can at least be entertaining. But yeah, Goldberg's going to lose, and if it's his last match, no shame. Look, Hall of Famer, legend, no shame in losing to the big dog, and all the greats go out on their back. So once again, no shame in that.
No. It's funny too, because their feud goes deeper than wrestling. If you remember, Goldberg was a Georgia Bulldog. Roman Reigns was a Georgia Tech.
Oh, you know what?
Time feud.
I knew that,
And
but
they
I never
both
really
played football.
Yeah, I never really thought about it. But yeah, now that you mention that, yeah.
Yeah, Goldberg brought it up in an interview. And yeah, he brought that up. He was like, yeah, I went here and he went there. Like, so we got this deep. And he's like, well, I actually made it to, Goldberg actually made it to the NFL, played for, long enough to get, I think back then he had to play like 5 years to get a pension. So, yeah. Injuries took him out, but he did start. He did play.
Cool.
I think he got drafted by the Rams, I think. Rams. He played for 3 teams: Rams, Panthers, and Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, I knew that he played for the Falcons. I didn't know about the Panthers and the Rams.
Yeah, but Falcons, that's where he was the longest. But anyway, before we get to the main event, I think it's only appropriate to announce that the dead man, the Undertaker, finally was announced going into the Hall of Fame. So I know you and Book were kind of hinging on that being part of Mania, and how could they sell out this building 2 nights in a row? This is one way you do it, because now it's almost a guarantee he's gonna make an appearance at both, I would assume. And I don't know, maybe it's worth just going to the Hall of Fame show and flying back. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, I'm representing Taker tonight. I got my Phenom t-shirt on. I don't know if you can see that very well on the.
I see you.
Yeah. What they announced tonight is that the induction is going to take place Friday night during SmackDown. So the Hall of Fame, it doesn't appear it's getting its own show. The ceremony is going to take place during the telecast of SmackDown the Friday before the first night of Mania. So yeah, Book and I, look, we this isn't really a surprise. We assumed with WrestleMania being in Texas. Yeah. We thought we were going to go, but then we started to see how the card was going to shape up, and they announced that it was going to be 2 nights and the cost and everything, and we just decided, you know what, we might just sit this one out because we just didn't think. Now, if Book decides he just wants to go down for SmackDown Friday night to Dallas, I'm cool with that. But I mean, why go just for that? I mean, if I'm going to go all the way to Dallas, might as well go to Mania. But either way, I will be watching. Obviously, Taker is well deserving. I'm curious to see who inducts him. My prediction is Shawn Michaels, because they have such a history together. So many great matches together, except for that one that took place in Saudi Arabia that we won't talk about. Yeah, but
I can see Triple H doing it.
I could see that as well. But with Shawn
or
Michaels,
Kane.
Well, Kane too. But with Shawn Michaels, like I said, bad blood. WrestleMania 25, WrestleMania 26. Mm-hmm. He's arguably Taker's greatest opponent, and they're both Texas guys. So that's my prediction. But yeah, I could either see Triple H, Kane. I could even see Vince McMahon himself inducting Taker because he holds him in such high regard. But yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, congratulations, Undertaker. Well deserved. Respect.
Last but not least, the men's Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory versus Riddle versus AJ Styles. Huh. So on the one hand, I do want them to have like a champion for championship match at Mania, so we can get back to one major champion. Excuse me, major championship, because we haven't had that since 2016. Too many titles. It takes away from it being special. Okay, I get it. You got a whole Raw roster, you got a whole SmackDown roster, you got to fill, but elevate the United States Championship, elevate the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, make those mean something, and then it elevates the one main championship even more. Plus, it really means something if that champion has to hop from show to show. Now you have an excuse for them to be a free agent because they're the world champion, so they can be on both shows. And I just think it just opens the door for more opportunity to me. That's how I look at it. Because now you're not confined to, well, you're the champion here and you can only face these people. But if you're the champion of both shows, it doesn't matter. And I like back in the day when it's whoever won the Royal Rumble, you just knew. Okay. So like when Austin won the Rumble, we knew he was getting Shawn. We don't have to do this whole who am I gonna pick? I don't know. I hate that shit. So in my heart, well, in my mind, I should say, in my mind, I would like to see that. So that would mean Brock would have to win, right? But it's Black History Month.
Right. Hey, we represent on this podcast. Come on now. They gave us the shortest month of the year, but it's still our month.
Right. It's our month. I kind of need Bobby Lashley to walk out as champ. He can't have no 2-week reign. I'm okay with the white boy having one. He done beat all the brothers anyway. So I need Lashley to walk out champ, even if that means we still had 2 titles. Hey, to me, that's the lesser of 2 evils, I guess. I thought Lashley, the way they booked him as champion last time was great. And I get why they did the thing with Big E. It made sense, but that, for all intents and purposes, it didn't turn out that well. I don't think he's quite, I guess I even have to admit, he's not quite there yet. People take Lashley serious as champion. They like Big E as champion, but they don't take him serious. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going Lashley. My pick. Long-winded answer, but yes.
Man, this is a tough one for me because I want to see Lashley win it. And I've heard rumors about champion versus champion, but you know what? You don't need Brock to be the champion to sell that match. Brock versus Roman with Brock chasing, to me, is actually more intriguing. I mean, look, I like the idea of title versus title, but we know that whoever wins, even if they win both titles, eventually they're going to give up one of those titles. I mean, they're not going to just be the undisputed champion. I would like it if WWE went that way, but I just think they want to have a champion on each show. So with that in mind, why have Brock win it? Keep Bobby as the champion, and then you can have your 2 world title matches. Bobby can take on Seth, or he can take on Big E, or he can take on AJ. I don't know, any number of opponents.
Ooh, AJ.
I've actually heard a different rumor about AJ. I don't know
if
you've heard it too. Either one of those matches would be good, but I think AJ needs to get back in the title picture. They really need to elevate him after, making him spend a year with Almost. But I'm giving a long-winded answer to, I'm going to go ahead and pick Lashley reluctantly. And the only reason I say reluctantly is because it's hard to pick against Brock in these big matches, especially when Bobby got over Brock last time. We haven't seen many people get over on Brock
Wasn't
in
clean.
a big spot. Huh?
Was not clean.
It was not clean.
It was a shit show at the
Yeah,
end.
it was. But man, look, this one could be as well. I mean, let's hope not. But look, Bobby. I'm gonna say Bobby wins. Brock doesn't need the title to sell the match with Roman. It's already a big deal without it. Let Bobby keep the title till Mania at least.
Yeah, I could honestly see the Usos coming out first and distracting Brock, and then maybe even Brock doesn't even get pinned. Maybe he just chases them off out of the chamber. He breaks out the chamber.
Yeah, he could
Or
get
runs
counted
out with
out.
somebody. He could get counted out or
Yeah,
whatever.
something
He
where
didn't have to take a fall.
we're not going to see Brock get pinned. We know that. We're not going to see him get pinned.
I don't think so. I think he'll get, there'll be some shenanigans to get him out of the match or whatever. And then that'll be a way to for Lashley to win. And they both look strong going into Mania.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are the picks. Let us know what you all think in the comment section below. We'll be checking out the show. We won't be checking out live, so don't look for a video, probably till Sunday morning, I guess. Because I work Saturday and Rob's got stuff going on. So we're still gonna watch it tomorrow. It'll just be later in the day. So I probably won't get to it till 7:00 at night, just to be honest. And we probably won't even, it's probably gonna be a 4-hour show. We may not even discuss it till Sunday. Who knows?
Hey, well, there's no football anymore, so we'll be good to go.
Oh yeah. But all right. Thank you all for watching. Again, shoot us an email. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe, share, please. We appreciate all y'all for watching all our Trying to Laugh videos and hitting the comments. We appreciate the comments and everything. Keep them coming because we're gonna keep putting that content out. And we'll again work with the work schedules. We'll get it to you, promise. So take care, everybody. Take care of your families, and enjoy Elimination Chamber. Peace.